Here's something that surprises almost every retiree I talk to. The order in which you take money out of your retirement accounts can save you, or cost you, tens of thousands of dollars in taxes over the course of your retirement. Same savings, same spending, but a very different tax bill just based on the order you tap your accounts. And here's the kicker. Most people get that order backwards, and they never even realize it's costing them. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 3 types of retirement money: the mistake that quietly drains your savings, and the smarter order that keeps more of your money in your pocket. This one gets into taxes, so a quick heads up. This is for education only. It's not financial or tax advice, and a topic like this is genuinely worth an hour with a professional. Let's dig in. First, you have to understand that not all retirement money is taxed the same way. You essentially have 3 buckets. The first bucket is your taxable accounts, a regular brokerage account or your savings. You've already paid income tax on that money, so when you use it, only your investment gains are taxed, and long-term gains usually get lower capital gains rates. The second bucket is your tax-deferred accounts, your traditional 401k and your traditional IRA. This is where most people have the bulk of their money. And here's the crucial part. That money went in before taxes. It hasn't been taxed yet. So every single dollar you pull out is taxed as ordinary income, just like a paycheck. And the third bucket is your tax-free accounts, your Roth. You already paid tax on that money going in, so it grows tax-free, and every dollar comes out completely tax-free, as long as you're at least 59.5 and the account has been open 5 years. 3 buckets, 3 completely different tax treatments, and the order you draw from them changes your lifetime tax bill dramatically. So here's the mistake that so many people make: the backwards part. A lot of retirees do one of 2 things. Some spend down their big 401k first because it's the largest pot and it feels like the obvious place to go. But far more common and more dangerous is the opposite. They claim Social Security early at 62, they live on that, and they leave their 401k completely untouched to keep growing. Because that feels responsible, right? Here's the problem: that tax-deferred money can't grow untouched forever. Starting at age 73 and age 75 if you were born in 1960 or later, the government forces you to start pulling it out, whether you need it or not. It's called a required minimum distribution, and because that account has been growing untouched for years, the balance is now huge, so those forced withdrawals can be enormous, and every dollar is taxed as ordinary income. And this is where it becomes what planners call a tax torpedo. Those big forced withdrawals in your 70s can do 3 painful things all at once. First, they can push you up into a higher tax bracket. Second, they can cause more of your Social Security to become taxable. Up to 85% of your benefit can be taxed once your income climbs. And third, they can trigger something called IRMAA. That's a surcharge on your Medicare premiums that kicks in once your income crosses about $109,000 for a single person, or $218,000 for a couple, in 2026. So the responsible move of leaving your 401k alone can quietly arm a tax bomb that goes off in your 70s. That's the backwards order, and it's incredibly common. Now, the textbook answer, the conventional wisdom, is to withdraw in this order: taxable accounts first, then your tax-deferred accounts, and your tax-free Roth last. The logic is sound. You spend the already taxed money first, you let your Roth keep growing tax-free for as long as possible, and you delay the tax hit. As a simple default, that's not bad, but it's not the whole story, and if you stop there, you can still walk straight into that RMD tax torpedo. So here's the smarter fix, and it comes down to using the most valuable window in your entire retirement: your low-tax years. Think about the years between when you stop working and when Social Security and those required distributions kick in. In that window, your income is often the lowest it will ever be, which means you're in the lowest tax bracket you'll ever see. That window is pure gold. Instead of leaving your tax-deferred 401k completely alone, this is exactly when you strategically draw from it, or do what's called a Roth conversion, moving money from your traditional 401k into a Roth and paying the tax now, at today's low rate. You're deliberately filling up those low tax brackets while they're cheap. You pay a little tax now to avoid a lot of tax later. You shrink those future required withdrawals, and you soften the Social Security and IRMAA hit down the road. It's the opposite of letting it all pile up. And here's how it all ties together with Social Security. Spending some of that tax-deferred money in your early retirement years can let you do something powerful. Delay claiming Social Security until 70. Remember, waiting boosts your benefit to about 124%, or even a little more, depending on your full retirement age, a bigger, inflation-protected check for the rest of your life. So the SMART sequence often looks like this. In your 60s, you live on your taxable savings and some strategic withdrawals or conversions from your 401k. You keep your income low and manageable, and you let Social Security grow. Then, later, that larger Social Security check and your tax-free Roth do the heavy lifting, with far less of a tax burden. That is the order most people get backwards, flipped right side up. Let me make this concrete with two retirees. Frank does the responsible thing. He claims Social Security at 62 and never touches his $600,000 401k, letting it grow. It feels great, right up until age 73, when the required distributions begin. By then, his balance has ballooned, so the government forces out large withdrawals every year, all taxed as ordinary income. They push him into a higher bracket, they make most of his Social Security taxable, and they trigger the IRMAA surcharge on his Medicare. Frank is now paying far more tax in his 70s and 80s than he ever expected. Now meet Diane, starting with the very same $600,000. In her 60s, while her income is low, she lives partly on her taxable savings and quietly converts a chunk of her 401k to a Roth each year, paying tax at a low rate, and she delays Social Security to 70. By 73, her tax-deferred balance is much smaller, so her required distributions are modest. Her Social Security is a bigger check, and a large share of her income now comes out of her Roth completely tax-free. Same money, same starting point, but Diane keeps tens of thousands of dollars more, simply because she used the order to her advantage. Now let me add some important caution, because you can absolutely overdo this. The required distribution age is 73 today, and 75 if you were born in 1960 or later, and missing one carries a stiff penalty, so those are firm deadlines. But on the flip side, don't let the tax tail wag the dog. If you convert too much in a single year, you can spike your own income and accidentally trigger that IRMAA Medicare surcharge 2 years later, because it's based on your income from 2 years prior. So these moves have to be sized carefully, year by year. This is genuinely one of those areas where a few hours with a qualified tax professional can pay for itself many times over. And to be fair, this SMART sequence isn't right for everyone. If your income is going to stay high all through retirement, say you have a large pension or you keep working part-time, you may not get those cheap low-tax years to take advantage of, and aggressive conversions might not pay off. If most of your money is already in Roth or taxable accounts, you have far less of this problem to begin with. And don't forget your state. Some states tax this income and some don't, which can change the math on when and how much you convert. The principle holds for almost everyone. Be intentional about the order, but the specific moves should fit your specific situation. And I want to be honest, there is no single perfect order that works for everyone. It depends on how much you have in each bucket, your tax bracket, your health, whether you're trying to leave money to your kids, and more. The goal here isn't to hand you a rigid formula. It's to get you to be intentional about the order instead of accidental, because being accidental is what costs people so much. There's one more benefit to getting this right that's easy to overlook: flexibility. When your money is spread across all three buckets, taxable, tax-deferred, and tax-free, you get to choose, year by year, which one to draw from to keep your taxable income right where you want it. In a year with a big one-time expense, you can lean on your tax-free Roth so it doesn't blow up your tax bracket. That kind of control is one of the most underrated advantages in all of retirement, and it only exists if you didn't drain or completely ignore any one of those buckets along the way. So let's turn this into 3 clear steps you can actually take. Step 1. Map your 3 buckets. Sit down and write out how much you have in taxable accounts, how much is in tax-deferred accounts like your 401k and traditional IRA, and how much is in tax-free Roth accounts. You can't plan the order until you can see all 3. Step 2. Protect and use your low-tax years. Identify that window after you stop working before Social Security and required distributions begin. In those years, deliberately draw from or convert your tax-deferred money to fill up the low tax brackets while they're cheap. This is the single most valuable move most retirees completely miss. Step 3. Coordinate with Social Security and get a professional in your corner. Line up your withdrawal order with your Social Security timing. Often that means spending savings early so you can delay your benefit and grow it. And before you pull the trigger on big moves like Roth conversions, run the numbers with a tax professional. This is complex, the stakes are high, and good advice here is some of the best money you'll ever spend. Here's the bottom line. Most retirees think of their savings as one big pile of money, and they pull from it in whatever order feels natural. But that natural order is often exactly backwards, and it can hand tens of thousands of your hard-earned dollars straight to the tax man. When you understand your 3 buckets, use your low tax years on purpose, and coordinate everything with Social Security, you flip that around, and you get to keep far more of your own money. That's not about earning more. It's about losing less. And it's completely within your control. If this helped make a confusing topic a little clearer, do me a favor and subscribe. Every week we break down retirement in plain English, how to make your money last, how Social Security and Medicare really work, and how to retire well, whether that's here at home or somewhere more affordable abroad. And if you know someone with a big 401k who's never thought about the order they'll tap it, share this with them. It could genuinely save them a fortune. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. One last thing, this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and it is not financial, tax, or legal advice. Tax laws are complex and they change, and everyone's situation is different. So please confirm the current rules and work with a qualified tax professional or financial advisor before making any withdrawal or Roth conversion decisions.